Dave.
What's up, Chan?
Oh, I'm just hanging out here live on the internet.
Oh, yeah. I'm coming on Instagram.
Are you on there? I'm waiting for you.
Come on.
Oh, there you are. I'm waiting on you now for it to screen share.
Oh, yeah. Here you go. Can you believe it?
Oh, look at that.
We all right?
I hear a slight echo on your side.
We're okay.
A little feedback. No, let me check. Yep, that's feedback on the Instagram. So I think the ideal solution for this, if you're running this kind of stuff, is to just connect a little road mic to it. Well, we almost had it. Oh, you fixed it. What did you do? Oh, no, you didn't.
Nah.
It's still there.
All right, I'm out.
Well, everybody, we're continuously testing Instagram to get this thing to work. So here's what you have to do if you want to run Instagram live and you're running it on Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope right now. Because it's impossible to silence the Instagram feed, and you can invite your friends on now so we can do this together, you have to connect like a little Rode mic to it. Because what will happen is the Rode mic won't allow any sound out, but it'll take sound in. So that way you can run your Instagram lives with someone on a screencast with other things going on at once and not get feedback. Isn't that incredible how we figure workarounds around everything when it's new?
So let's try going live one more time. I just changed my mics.
You guys are experiencing testing in motion. We're going to have a pretty cool Q&A episode today, though, for anybody watching. We got one solid viewer. Is that you right now, Dave? Okay, ready?
That's me.
We're looking on Instagram.
I'm ready.
Okay, I'm waiting on Mr. Picardi.
Oh, he's joined.
Ooh. Oh, now it says you're unable. Oh, there we go. Added you.
Yeah, you did.
Works.
All right.
Hey, look, you're on.
What do you think?
I think it's working now. Yeah, there's no feedback at all. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine.
Okay, team, we figured it out. You just got to make sure you silence your outward volume on your Instagram live, and then you can go live with other people on. Check it out. This is my tripod, and Dave and I are currently on Instagram. Well, we're on Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope. So we literally go live everywhere now, every single day for the Almost Daily Show.
I think we're high-tech hacks.
Yeah, we don't mess around. Good. Introducing new technology. That was actually one of the questions today. But before we get to questions, do you believe we're on this thing called the internet?
It's amazing.
My grandfather always told me, get out of the internet. It's gonna go nowhere, and you got to go to school and be an accountant.
I like that. You went to school for biology, right? You were messing that up from the beginning.
Yeah, I went to school for biology and biochemistry. So it was, that really prepared me for business school.
School of hard knocks.
That's right.
That's for sure.
But I think what it did help me with, especially in sciences, and what I see nowadays is kids and people who go to business school tend to do a lot of networking at the bar, where they're literally just drinking all day. So if I was going to go to a business school, I would make sure I got somewhere prestigious, because all it is about making connections who are going to help you when you get out. And so if I was going to go to business school, I would have to get into Harvard or Stanford or somewhere where I know all the future thought leaders are going to end up, because all their parents are going to be able to pay for it and get them into it. But if I don't have that opportunity, that I don't think business school is really what it should be. And if you're smart enough to get into business school for your MBA and all that, I think you're smart enough to not need it.
Most of the time. A lot of the time it's the credential that you need to get the meeting, to get the
Exactly.
job.
That's all it is. And then people. The more you know, the more people you know, the more likely it is you're going to get the opportunities down the road that you want, and that's how you grow. It really comes down to, it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Yeah, that's 99% the case. Absolutely. I think the business thing, most people that come out of business school don't really know how to run business and they're not very good at it. I think a big piece of that is, understanding that when you come out of business school, knowing who to hire, right? You want to hire a good accountant and a good attorney and a good business coach, right? Just because you went to business school doesn't mean that you don't need a business coach. And if you get the right people around you, you're good to go.
Yeah, exactly. And I always find as well, when people get out of like business schools, they realize that it's a lot different in the real world. So when you look at like what you learn in school in accounting, there's always different things you're going to do when you get out. And once you learn in entrepreneurship class or business class, when you get out, it's always done in a different way because people find new ways to react and respond to what's going on. And then usually what's happening in real time isn't what's going on in education, because education is always behind what's going on in the real world.
Yeah, and it takes case studies. I think that school's more about preparing you for critical thinking in the business world. Not so much when you're in your office, how do you actually get stuff done? Because it's always different.
That's why I found science was so beneficial. The whole thing was about, especially biochem. Biology is just rote memorization, but biochem is all about critical thinking. Like, how does this process work? How can you map it out? What happens if something goes wrong? And then you don't know if you're right, and you're sitting in their molecular biology lab, like making DNA work, and you don't really know if what you're going to do in the next step is going to work or not. But sometimes you got to make the inference that it's going to, and it works or it doesn't. And then you learn to deal with success and failure along the way as well.
That's right. That's the key to business.
That's it.
So the question today was about Instagram Live and being able to invite people on with you, which is what we're doing right now.
Yeah. Are you sure that was the question?
I think it was, wasn't it?
Kidding. Yeah. So the question was about what do you use for Instagram Live, and how does Live work, and all of that stuff. And I think like Instagram Live has taken huge strides recently, because at the beginning you went live and it immediately disappeared, and there wasn't a lot of value behind it unless you had like 100,000 followers who would interact right there. And then they came out with some updates that allowed the live to stay for 24 hours, which was huge, because now people can watch that live over the course of the day. You can save the live. And then they came out with things on live, like the ability, the newest one, to screen share. So now it's literally, I can get on Instagram, swipe over, go live, and I can have a screen share conversation with a friend live to the world, which is kind of neat, because now it's not just you talking into your phone. You have the capabilities to speak to someone else. And what it does is it brings out a conversational tone to Instagram Live. And I think it'll be a huge way for people to start up like little Instagram shows with co-hosts and all of that kind of stuff. It offers up so much more opportunity to get people involved.
Yeah, and it's a little different than, if you have your business page in Facebook, you can go live from it, but you can't screen share it and invite somebody on. So this is a great new way, a different platform to be able to do what Chan and I do every day with the Almost Daily Show. We have to get higher end software to be able to tie it all together to be able to do this. But now Instagram has the ability to do it, on that platform. It's not like you can push that everywhere, but if you're really doing a good job on your Instagram account, it's going to be great content and a great way for you to get your expertise out there and get some good conversation going.
Yeah, it's huge. And when you think about live, it's not only prioritized heavily, because in Instagram, it's going to be right at the top. And the more people who watch your broadcast, the more likely it is it's going to push over to the left-hand side, and everybody's going to see it when they come forward, because the algorithm just wants people who consume your stuff to see it more often. And so people are always going to see it up there, and they're always going to get used to watching your shows. And we tested live doing the screen share at the gym the first time. And so I opened up mine and invited RJ in, and then he ran around the gym in circles and all that. So we always have the capabilities. Yeah. He even took a shower, fully clothed. Well, he took his shirt off for this one. But that's how we test. So we get in there, we work it out, we figure it out. And then the more interesting and exciting or educational you make your pieces, and the more you have a following who cares about what you're doing, the more likely it is that you're going to actually be able to get people to watch it. And then the algorithm is going to push it forward. And then you have a big following on Instagram. And Instagram's I think it's right now, it's one of the biggest things you can use to increase your organic reach and get people excited about what you're doing, because it's not at the point right now to where you have no reach at all. It's at a point to where you can get people to tag friends. You can share memes that they like. You can use stories people will watch. And there's so many different ways. It's its own episode to talk about how to leverage Instagram. I think we made an episode about Instagram, though.
We have. Oh, yeah. We've made an episode about everything.
That's true.
If you're listening, go back in and subscribe and make sure you go back and listen to some of the old shows. Some of them are gold. Yeah. Other ones, dirty gold, but they're all gold.
White gold, black gold, gold, orange gold.
Right.
How many flavors of gold are there?
I think there's right now 58.
That's incredible.
Isn't that crazy?
Geez, 58 flavors of gold. So after the Instagram question, we had another question that was, what's the deal with the Messenger ads right now? What's the deal with using Facebook Messenger to market yourself and text messaging? And what that one comes down to is, it's really, when we look at Messenger ads right now, it's really popular because everybody's on Messenger and everybody's using Messenger, and it's unique right now. So when you get a Facebook message, you want to pop it open and read it immediately. And when you get something from a business, it's cool. It's kind of a thing that you're not expecting. So you open it, you check it. Everybody checks their Messenger right now. Everybody checks their text messages, especially the younger crowd, because nobody wants to get on the phone and talk to people. Nobody has time to talk on the phone. So everybody wants to text back and forth. And we found that email is now so saturated that nobody wants to open their email, because every day, like, I wake up and there's 157 emails, and I just mass delete them all until and organize the ones that I actually want to open, which is like 2 or 3. And then you end up skipping through them on accident anyway. But on Messenger, it's so new and it's not saturated yet that you can get your message in there. People are going to open it, consume it, and interact with it.
Yeah, it's the marketing game over the years. It's just interesting how it always, it's the next thing takes over for the last thing that was saturated. And, at one point it was mailers, right? And it was a way to talk to people and sell people. So you'd go home and there'd be a stack of mail, right? And you were able to do it with just regular email, so that it really put a dent in the direct mail market. And now when you're looking at it, you're going, it used to be super expensive to do such campaigns. Instant Messenger having this ability is huge. So for now, it's definitely an avenue to trying to communicate and build some great drip campaigns through, and just keep getting follow up and getting your name in front of people with just general information and offers. So as of right now, it's definitely the hot way to be communicating.
Yeah, it's huge. And one thing you can do that a lot of people are doing is building out like bots to interact and talk to customers and give them information that they want to consume. I think one important piece with bots that you have to remember is sometimes people just want to talk to a human. So whatever you have as the options, add an extra option in there that says, I want to speak to a human. So if someone's tired of speaking to your stupid bot, they can just click and it'll go right to, okay, hey, I'm a human, let's talk. Because if it's okay to have bots and that stuff out there, and remember, you can't automate the relationship forever. You can't automate a humanistic connection, but you can at least give them a general flow to follow. Like on the Stone Age Fuel Messenger, if you go to facebook.com/Stone Age Fuel and you go to the Messenger and you message it nutrition, it'll send you a 5-part nutrition series. And then we can run that as an ad. So people just click on the ad and they type nutrition in the box, and then it pops open and sends this 5-part message to them. You can do stuff like that, but if they're talking and they ask a question, make sure that you have some sort of human there who's monitoring it and paying attention.
Yeah, so when you're talking about people don't want to talk to bots, they try to get so clever with them, where they're trying to, make it sound like it's an actual person, right? So you're trying to trick the people, and I think it'd probably be more powerful and work better if you just it's right up front that it is a bot. Name it something that's not a human name, and interact with somebody the way that it probably should. When you get into the whole trying to trick people, they're in there conversing. When they figure out that they're conversing with not a human, it usually turns them off, right? So like what Chandler said, giving them that option. I know for us, we're talking about making Larry, our guy Larry. There's our bot, right? So that's who you're going to talk to when you can get, any information that you need that's readily available and easy for us to auto put in, that's what you get for information. If you want to talk to a human, you tell Larry, I want to talk to Chan or Dave.
Yeah, it's perfect. And then it gives the option. So I can go back and forth with the bot for some quick info, or maybe I want the little guide or whatever you're giving away. Or I have some specific questions and I really just want to speak to a human and not do the runaround. Because what'll happen, and what happens with everything, we tell everybody this, is marketers ruin literally everything you'll ever want to do in your entire life. Because marketers ruined email. And then marketers are going to go to Messenger and they're going to oversaturate it and send so many messages, people aren't going to open it anymore. They're going to ruin that. And then we're going to figure out something else to go to that people want to be on. And so what happens is the public is always running away from marketers trying to sell them things and just saturate them with horrible information. So just remember, right now, Messenger ads are hot, but be on the lookout and pay attention to what's going to be the next thing. Because in 5 years, marketers are going to have ruined this. And so that's why we always need to make sure we understand the long-term game. First, it was email. Then it moved, or like you said, direct mail way back in the day. And then it was email. And then it moved into Messenger. And then whatever happens next, we'll find out, probably some sort of audio-based thing.
I'm going to just call it direct mail is on the comeback. So the reason why it worked in the first place was because you go home and there's shiny things in your mailbox and you look at them, and there's all sorts of, all the new marketing is built off of all the old years of research and what worked and what didn't, and close percentages and how many pieces of mail you needed to send out to get 1% return and all that good stuff. So now you go home and there's only bills in your mailbox. There's nothing else, right? So you go home and you just pull out the bill every day. So anyone that's actually going back to direct mail, you can expect to get the same type of results that you got, 15 years ago in that direct market. So
it's funny.
Side note:
when you look at like direct mail and radio and all that stuff, it used to be expensive, and now they're starving. So if you're a local business, you can probably finagle your way in there pretty cheap to work with them.
Yes,
it's still probably going to be comparable to running. Probably not close to a video ad, but if you were running like a ad to a blog post or clicks to ad there, it's going to be comparable to that. But just think about that. So when your Messenger ads are popular right now, it's an important thing to use, and you should be using it in some way, shape, or form. But always know that the marketers are going to ruin that, and you should look on the horizon for what's coming next. Because the sooner you're on something before everybody else is, the more likely it is you can capture the attention and win on whatever it is.
Yeah, and this comes down to kind of our episode yesterday. What is your long-term plan? The long-term plan, right, should be just based on how you're communicating and how you're educating and motivating and making people laugh and all the good stuff. And shouldn't be, one tool that you're using to market. So that should always be evolving. It shouldn't be, like we're just going to spend money in this area and neglect everything else. Right. So follow that game plan first, add in things as necessary, because, if you're doing Facebook Messenger, it's one tool out of many. Right? So you need to understand where the rest of them come in too. All your eggs in one basket's not good.
Yeah. Think about the way people want to interact too. So your Facebook Messenger and your text message marketing doesn't necessarily need to be outward marketing. It can also be customer retention tools. And so we stayed at a hotel the other day that a couple days before they texted, hey, thanks for staying with us. What time do you think you'll be checking in? And we texted back the specific time. And then the day before they text back, hey, do you think you're still going to come in at this time? And then, yeah, we're going to be there. Okay, great. So you can use that as retention, checking in, making sure they're okay, making sure people are happy. And a quick text is easier to respond to than trying to get someone on the phone, especially if you're dealing with the millennial crowd or really anybody under 40 years old right now. Nobody wants to pick up an answer, but everybody will sit there and respond to a text or a Facebook message. And so
that's right.
Organize your...
Well, they screen it. There's so many things coming at you that you have to screen it. If my phone rang right now, I wouldn't answer it unless it was... I probably just wouldn't answer it.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. I never answer my phone. It's just not worth it. And so think about that. What can I organize in my buyer's journey to include check-ins that are text message or Facebook Messenger and maybe a little bit of email, but focus on those messaging platforms because that's where people are going to want to interact and talk. And when they become, if you're dealing with clients in the service industry where we deal with a lot of what we do, you ask them up front, what's your preferred method of contact? You put Facebook Messenger, email, phone call, text, and they'll pick what they want. Then you put that in. Then your CRM, like we use Infusionsoft, should be able to organize what they do specifically around that. Okay, they go in the email-based system. Okay, they go in the text-based. Okay, they go in we got to do a Facebook Messenger marketing thing with them. And So just make sure you organize in the way that they want to be communicated. And that's part of being customer centric. Understand what they want, how they want to see it, and where you can find them, and then do it there for both prospective customers and current customers, and even former customers.
It's called relate. We've heard of that before. And the key to the whole thing is what Shane just said, is it's communication tools for you. So think of it, your existing client base, right? How do you communicate with your existing client base? You can then use that same communication with former and potential clients. It's all just the same. But then know that everybody prefers to be contacted in different ways, right? It's not everybody. It's like, well, this tool, accounts for 90% of my customers, so I'll just use that tool. Well, you have to also then figure out what the other 10% are using, and it's still your responsibility as the business owner to communicate with them where they're at, and it might be email, it might be mail, you might find someone that's a customer of yours that says, just mail it to me, send me reminder postcards. I've been getting them for years from my dentist and I love them.
Yeah. It's exciting.
But then you have to honor that. Like, you have to understand that everybody's different.
Yeah, humans are different. Humans interact, engage, and respond and learn in different ways. And so just be cognizant of that. The more personalized you make the experience, the more likely it is people are going to feel special about it. And then they're going to want to keep interacting with you. And that's how you keep people around.
Most of the time.
All right.
Oh, good stuff. Yeah. A good one. We're hitting our 22-minute.
That's right. We're trying to keep it under 20. Sometimes we go over, but most of the time we don't. I'm glad Instagram worked this time. We'll see how it sounds after this. And then if you guys have questions for next week, let us know. We're always looking for ideas and topics for shows as well. So if you're downloading this and listening to this, I want you to send us an email on what you think would be a good topic, because the more our listeners drive the direction of the show, the more likely it is it's going to be relevant for you guys listening.
That's right. All right, guys. We'll probably take the weekend off, so we'll see you on Monday.
See you Monday. It's been fun. See ya.